You guys, I missed 2 weeks. But also, like, inconsistency is kind of consistent, if you know what I mean. So it's basically like I didn't miss any time at all. Let me put my comfy glasses on. Hold on. Oh, is the glare gonna be annoying? For sure. So we're gonna take those off.
There are no pillowcases in here! Why did I do
that? Everyone get a glass of water. Or a bottle of water. You're probably wondering, Lauren, first of all, why did you miss 2 weeks? And also, second of all, what are we doing today? What did the title mean? Like, what is a physical TBR? And for that, I have two answers for you, I guess. One, it's been a rough couple of weeks. And by rough, I mean last week I was on spring break, so I took a break altogether. And the week before that, I had a video, and then the footage was bad. And I just, like, wasn't proud of it. Like, it was just a video that I, like, threw together. I wasn't proud. The editing was bad. So I just scrapped it and said, oop, we're just gonna wait. So, yeah. This video is my return, if you will. She's just gonna be whatever I want it to be honest. I don't know what I want this video to be yet, but, well, like, I do, like, obviously I have a topic, but, like, what's the vibe? Right now, the vibe is comfy. I have my robe on. I won't be taking my robe off. I just need a moment. It's been a long day. I've been extraordinarily tired. I also had a really bad stomach ache earlier. I kind of thought I was dying. I'm not dying, but, you know, you never know, actually, is the thing. So for those of you who don't know, TBR stands for to be read. And it's basically like a list that people who read lots of books, or I guess people who read it all, it's a list of books that those people want to read, but either haven't got around to yet, don't have the physical copies of the books, or don't have a way to get them, or they're upcoming and they're on pre-order, like anything they haven't read that they want to read. A list, like an ongoing list to just keep track of, like, what you want to read next the most. It's usually prioritized. My TBR, well, this video at least, is going to be a little different because it's my physical TBR. So these are only books that are on my TBR that I have in person. It's like 17 books, I think. Anyways, without further ado, let's just do it. So, to start this off, I'm going to start with my books that I got from Book of the Month that I have decovered. So, I've got 2 books on my physical TBR from my Book of the Month collection. I have a lot of books from Book of the Month. 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, probably like 18 or something like that. It's crazy. The first book is The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. This is what the cover actually looks like, so that y'all can, like, see it. Yeah, I got this on Book of the Month because I love a good, just, you know, fiction book. I also love a good mystery. This is kind of mystery, I think. I'm actually super excited to read this, because I started reading it a while ago, and then I fell into a big old reading slump because of another book that I was reading at the time, and it was just a whole thing. The book is actually on this list because I need to read it, even though the last time I tried to read it, I simply didn't finish it. So, anyways, Cartographers by Peng Shepherd is the first book on my TBR, my physical TBR. The second book on my physical TBR is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is what the actual cover looks like. This was probably the first book, I think, that I got from Book of the Month, because this is a June 2021 edition, and I joined in June 2021. So this would have been one of the first books. I bought it because I saw someone talking about it on, like, TikTok or something, and they were like, you cannot name a category of, like, wanting to read a book. Like, if I'm wanting to read a book with this trope or this kind of length or this storyline or plotline, like, they were like, you simply cannot have one of those and have Malibu Rising not fit in it. like Malibu Rising fits in all of the categories because it's such a diverse book. So I was like, oh my god, I have to get it. Anyways, I also love Taylor Jenkins Reid. Since getting this book, I have read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I literally fell in love with it because it's so good. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It was on my favorites of 2022 list. If you remember that video kind of did poorly, so go watch it. Let me get a sip. Like I said, it's been a long day, y'all. I don't know why I keep doing it like that. Like, that's fucking stupid. Why am I doing it like that? Anyways, moving on. Those are the 2 Book of the Month books. The next book is also by Miss Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is called One True Loves. Is this the book that I had to DNF last year? Yeah, it is. The bookmark actually is still in it. It's a paint swatch called Green Willow because all of my bookmarks are paint swatches. Guys, that's my favorite little hack. If you don't want to spend money on bookmarks, go get paint swatches that match the color scheme of the cover. It will make your reading experience so good. And then, sorry, I'm getting so excited about this. I think, yeah, they're in here. And then I also label my paint swatches with what book I read them with. So this one I read Born a Crime with. This one I read Ninth House with, and then this one I read The Secret History with. And then I've got a bunch more. Like, I have my Little Life one. I have my Aristotle and Dante one. I have, like, a ton. I don't save all of them, sometimes accidentally, but this is a lovely little book about this girl and her kind of love triangle that she gets put in. Yeah, this book put me in a reading slump, and I don't know why, because I literally was enjoying it, but it was also right after I read Evelyn Hugo, and I loved that book so much that I think I was just like fighting to love this one as much, and I didn't, but I still want to finish it. I do actually remember quite well what's going on, so I'm gonna finish it. I have about 100 pages left. Like, it shouldn't be hard. I don't even know. It's not that the story was bad either. Like, the story is good. I'm confused by my own actions. Anyways, InStyle called this a breathtaking love story. And I started to tab it as well, which is fun. But yes, One True Loves, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Next up, we have another book from the Queen, Daisy Jones and the Six. This book is one that this is probably the one instance where I postponed buying a book for a really long time. Like, I wanted to buy this book for months, and I just didn't, and I don't know why. Like, why didn't I buy this? I kept saying to myself, no, like, I don't need it, I won't buy it. And then I proceeded to buy 6 other of the books on my list. Why didn't I buy this one? I wanted to read this one so bad. And this was before I knew that they were making a show out of it, and now they have a show out of it. It's like, now I have to read it. But anyways, yes, Daisy Jones and the Six. This is about a band. They have music on Spotify from the TV show, which I think is actually super sick, that a fictional band made, like, real music. I think that's really fun. But yeah, Daisy Jones and the Sixth. And the Sixth. And the Six. Alright, moving on to the next pile. We have... This is literally actually just a book that I found in Target one day, and I was like, oh my god, I want it. And so my friend got it for me for my birthday. This is Beth Regal's Lockdown on London Lane. It is published by Wattpad Books, so that does kind of scare me. Yeah, don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one, just because I know that other books that have been published from Wattpad. Everyone take a moment to realize that I'm talking about the Harry Styles fanfiction that got turned into novels and film. Have kind of let me down. This is the author of The Kissing Booth. So I guess I should have done some more research before I got this book. But it's fine. It's just about a bunch of different couples who, like, get locked in an apartment building together when the power goes out, and everyone's, like, fighting for their lives because they don't know how to interact. The next book is one that I am incredibly excited about, and it is also one that I bought in hardcover literally days before it started selling in softcover, and ended up paying like a good $8 or $9 extra for it. This is Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, famous author of Normal People and Conversations with Friends. I actually just started watching Normal People on Hulu, and let me just say that Daisy Edgar-Jones and Paul Mescal, I love them, and they ate. But yes, this is Sally Rooney's, I think, newest book, I'm pretty sure. Beautiful World, Where Are You? I think it's kind of just, yeah, it's like the story of 4 friends who just kind of like go through life together and deal with like isolation and like all these different feelings, and they kind of have ups and downs and blah blah blah. But I've heard that this book is very emotionally impactful and leaves an imprint on readers. So, Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney is a big one. Also, this cover is simply gorge. I'm not gonna lie, this is the main reason that I bought the book, because look how cute this cover is. Are you kidding? You have to be joking. Anyways, moving on. This is my most recent purchase and the most recent addition to the TBR. Were they mistakes? Yeah, they for sure were. I got the Vicious Duology by V.E. Schwab. Now, we all know that I love a duology. Ninth House and Hellbent, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I actually haven't read yet, but I have watched Shadow and Bone and I love it. I'm trying to think of other duologies. That's all I can think of right now. But yeah, I do love a duology. And I love V.E. Schwab. I read Addie LaRue last year. This is the story. This is the main story of Victor and Eli. This is a follow-up. So like it doesn't include the same characters. It's not like a sequel. It's a follow-up. Which kind of actually makes it better, because then it's not the same story drawn out over multiple books. Which is a slight pet peeve of mine. But we will ignore. This is probably, I'm not gonna lie, next up on my reading list. After I finish House in the Cerulean Sea, I feel like this is gonna be next up, because I love a duology. I love knowing, like, a duology is just so perfect for me. Because I love reading a book and loving it and wanting more, and then also knowing that the next book is the last book, and it's not gonna keep going. You know what I mean? Everything has to end, unfortunately. The next book that's on my TBR is just, this isn't very exciting because it's based on a book that I've already reading right now, A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book in the ACOTAR series, ACOMAF, if you will. This is a follow-up and a sequel to the first book. And I've heard that as they go on, they actually start being based off of different characters, but the first 2 books are based off the same characters, so I knew that I wanted to read these 2 at least. And then low-key maybe stop if I wasn't interested. But also just look how pretty these covers are. Like, are we kidding? They're gorgeous. I love them. But yes, Mist and Fury is like substantially larger than ACOTAR. But we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. It's been hard for me to read it because it's like I really have to pay attention. And with like House in the Cerulean Sea, I just get to like casually read. Next is one that I just ordered as well. This is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This, for being like a romance book of like this, you know, like this vibe, like if you see this cover, like it's giving Colleen Hoover. For being a romance book of like the Colleen Hoover genre, this book has astounding like ratings and reviews past just being like a good romance book. Like I have heard that this is like genuinely a very good book. And not to be like, I never want to be the kind of person who's like, oh, I don't like that kind of book because other people don't like it. Like, I never want to be that kind of person. I just am not a huge fan of usually, I guess, these kinds of like bubblegummy romance books or like the adult fiction romance books. Like, I'm usually not a fan of just straight up romance. Like, I like a fantasy romance or whatever, if it has like another aspect to it. I think that is also kind of why I had a problem with One True Loves, because like just straight up romance is very hard for me to read. But apart from this being a romance book of this kind of vibe, this actually has like very good reviews about like the quality of the actual book instead of just the romance, which I feel like a lot of people get lost in when they read romance books. They just kind of focus on like the tropes or like how the characters are instead of like the quality of it as an actual work as a whole. The meaning of the work as a whole. Anyways, this is also not super far down my reading list. It's like kind of in the middle. My reading list, my TBR. So yes, super excited about that. Another one that I am incredibly excited for is this queer fantasy duology. I only have the first book, I don't have the second one yet, but it's by Piper CJ. It's called The Night and Its Moon, and then the second book is called The Sun and Its Shade. And I am so excited about this because, first of all, I picked this book up initially because of how gorgeous the cover was, and then I read the back of it, and I was like, oh my god, it's gay. It's a gay fantasy book that is this gorgeous and has like the soft matte like texture. Ugh, it kills me. I am so excited to read this. And it's like a little over 500 pages, which isn't horrible. I'm feeling like this is going to be a really good summer read for me. So I'm super excited to dive into this one. To finish out this pile, we have The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This book I still haven't read it, and I picked it up in the first video that I ever posted on this channel after the Smoky Diaries, I guess, where I was just kind of doing like a little go to the bookstore and like get to know me or whatever. This was the book that I was looking for in that video along with Akatar, and I finished neither of those books, so I need to stop buying books, you know? But yeah, this book has gotten amazing reviews. It's about this woman who, doesn't she kill her husband? I have no idea. Anyways, she kills her husband, and then she goes to like this insane asylum, I think, and she just doesn't talk. She never says anything after she kills him 5 times. So this book is kind of just like them trying to figure out why she did that, I think. Again, haven't read it, but I'm super excited to. I've been looking forward to reading that book for a while. The next book on this list is also one that I picked up because of how gorgeous the cover is. This is beautiful. It's like the cherry blossoms in the phone booth. It's amazing. This is by Laura Emai Messina. It's called The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World, and it is basically like a fantasy inspired by Japan's real-life wind phone, featured in the episode One Last Thing Before I Go on NPR's This American Life. I think it follows this girl who loses her mother, and then she hears a story about this man who has an old telephone booth in his garden with a disconnected phone, except the phone can speak to dead people. Like the phone can help the living like communicate and grieve with the dead. And also, this is probably the one that I'm most excited to read out of this list, because this was one that I have been looking forward to for a really, really, really long time. This is right after the Vicious Duology on my TBR. And I've heard that this book just absolutely rips people apart, which I'm super excited about. I love painful books. Speaking of painful books, if anybody who's watching this video right now can get me an express flight to London and a ticket to see A Little Life, please do so. It's my only dream in life is to see that play. And I don't think they're making like a recording of it to like publish so that people can rent it online. I need that. I need to see this play. Like, you don't understand. I ordered the script for the play that I will not be seeing. I literally want nothing more. Plus, it's got 2 actors that I really, really like in it. It's fine. Moving on, I have this book that my college professor, my future college professor, the first time and only time that I've met him, he recommended this book to me, and it's called The Ballad of Perilous Graves by Alex Jennings, and it's basically about, it's like a magical realism story. This says, 9 songs of power have escaped from the piano that maintains the city's beat. Without them, Nola will fall. I'm super excited to read this, especially because it was recommended by someone that like I'm going to be working a lot with, and I'm super excited. We're down to the second to last book. This second to last book is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. The only thing that I'm like really upset about this book is the fact that it's just so long. Like, Like, this is like a standard, this is like the standard size of a book. Why is it so long? It's not even that it's necessarily like, well, I guess it is. It's just like, it's an odd shape and it's very annoying to me. But that's okay. I'm super excited to read this one. This book has very good reviews. Also, it's queer, which I didn't know until like a couple days ago, actually. But it's basically about magicians in the Alexandrian society. Yeah, it's just like it's a book about secret societies, giving very much ninth house, giving very much dark academia magic, which I love. I love this kind of shit. I'm about to eat this up. Also, this is another duology. The Atlas Paradox is the second book. I don't have the second book yet because I don't know if I'm gonna like the first one. But one of my favorite authors, Holly Black, who wrote The Cruel Prince, reviewed it and said, 6 of the most devious, talented, and flawed characters to ever find themselves in a magical library. This book is half mystery, half puzzle, and wholly a delight. I've also heard that this is very similar to The Secret History and the fact that all of the characters are inherently flawed and kind of horrible people, but that's what makes it such a good book, is because all of the characters are really, really bad. So I'm super excited to read this one as well. And then the last book on my TBR is probably the most big girl book of me to have. It is Stephen King's Billy Summers. Of all of the Stephen King books, this is probably the one that I wanted to read the most. Yeah, it's about a hitman who only does hits on like genuinely bad people, and he's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, like I'm kind of sick of it. So he gets hired for one last like really big payout job, and it goes terribly wrong. You won't ever forget the stunning novel from master storyteller Stephen King, and you will never forget Billy. But yeah, that's all. That is my physical TBR, comprising of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 books. I was right. 17 books. My physical TBR is much longer than I'd like to admit, nor is it even half of the amount of books that I have in my home. And I actually just ordered 3 more. But guys, you have to understand that I actually read my books. I just don't read them in the order that I get them. You know what I mean? The books that I just ordered was When the Apricots Bloom by Gina Wilkinson, If We Were Villains by ML Rio. I want to read the book so bad. And then To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. I need it. I need it now. Anyways, guys, I've been rambling, but that is the end of my physical TBR. 17 books deep. We slayed. My next video is going to be my finishing February and my March journaling sessions, because I meant to do those last week, but like I said, I was taking a break. It was a rough week for me. So that'll be next week, and then the week after that I have a really fun video planned. It's just fun for me because it'll be different than me just sitting at this desk and telling y'all what's up. You know what I mean? Anyways, I have to go lug 17 books back upstairs. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.